Welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Now Frazier. And today we got a few things to talk about, but before we get started, could y'all please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man. Y'all already know. Also, getting into what we need to talk about, or before we get into what we need to talk about, uh, the fourth annual free book bag drive is coming up for us. We still trying to finalize a couple of the details and things like that, but I just want to put this out there that if you're in the Pottstown, PA area, or even the surrounding areas, man, we'll be giving away free book bags with some supplies in them. Have some, free snacks and food for the kids. And we had a balloon bounce last year, so I'm thinking we're going to be doing the same thing. But like I said, I have all this information for y'all prior to us, prior to the date. So with that being said, man, please stay on the lookout for that. My friends and I really do appreciate the people that do come out because we really do like to give back to our communities. Try to just be a nice, like guiding light somewhat in this world. So with that being said, let's get on to what we need to talk about with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And I want to start off with this. As y'all know, I haven't made a video in the last few days, but defensive back Cooper DeJean was placed on a non-football injury list, which is not, I don't think is good news, but at the same time, luckily we got other players that could step into his place. But I really did want to see Coop DeVille out there on the field, man, see what he could do. He has a hamstring injury as well, and they have him out for 3 weeks. So hopefully this doesn't linger over into the season. Those hamstring injuries can be kind of tricky. So hopefully, they take their time with that. They also had tackle Gadalibi Adizi. I do apologize if I said my man's name wrong. And then wide receiver Shaq Davis. All three of those players were added to the non-football injury list. Sidney Brown was placed on the PUP list. As y'all know, we talked about him as well this offseason. He seems to be making a very speedy recovery, man. He's been out there running a lot, doing some things. But with an ACL injury that he has suffered, it usually takes about a year to come back from. So I know we probably won't see him for a little bit, but at the same time, it's good to see that he's recovering faster than usual. They also had guard Landon Dickerson out with a toe laceration and offensive lineman Brett Toth with a hamstring injury, which, like I said, that's something that they got to monitor. But we're non-participants today and considered day by day. So that's something else we got to, keep an eye on, as well as the linebacker Oren Burks on the sideline during team drills, and they didn't give a reason why he was on there. At least I didn't see it. So with that being said, they also had press conferences with Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, and this was prior to the practice. But first question they asked Nick was, how's your relationship with Jalen Hurts? And Nick went on to go say, they had a good relationship and things like that. I guess people make stories up and things like that. Pretty much what they were alluding to. He said, but he bases his relationship off of talking to that person day in and day out. So clearly they have somewhat of a good relationship. I figured it wasn't nothing too crazy. I thought it was more or less what had happened with the end of last year. And I said that these are two grown men that should be able to discuss their differences and things like that. As we see, they had, taken away the offensive play calling from Nick Sirianni and are implementing a new scheme or offensive scheme with Kellen Moore, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. But so it just seems to be, it seems to be that he is taking heed to what's going on from, the upper people, such as Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, whoever else makes that decision. But seems to be okay for right now. I guess we'll see, how that develops as the season goes on. But it seems to be that Kellen Moore has full control of this offense, which I'm glad to hear, especially with some of the things that we have here in these notes. So, and then they also spoke about why they hired Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, and they said that Nick had a part in that as well. They also, of course, took it to Howie Roseman, which, they said they used the relationships with people around the league, him and Nick and Howie, to, make certain decisions and things like that because it's a team effort, which I can understand. So that's really good to hear, man. And let's get on to some of the things that they talked about. And this is all from Andrew DeCecco. If you don't follow him on Twitter or X, please go follow him. He wrote up like a 5-minute read, and I just took some notes from there. So shout out to him. But first things first, I want to talk about was Mekhi Becton taking first team reps in Landon's absence. Big. I'm gonna say this too. I think Mekhi Becton is going to be a big addition to that offensive line. Not literal, but literally, because he's like 6'7", but at the same time, he is a first round draft pick. And I think Stoutland is really taking to him, showing him different things. When he was first brought in here, they were saying they were going to move him around different places. So which is good and dandy. But I really do want to see if he can make his carve out a name for himself on that offensive line, man. And so far so good, man. Like I said, Stoutland really likes him, thinks he has the talent. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll monitor that as the training camp goes on. Also, we need to talk about is Saquon Barkley. Now, as y'all know, we acquired Saquon Barkley this offseason. We've been talking about the Hard Knocks episodes and stuff like that, which I did watch last night, but I'm not going to get into that. The biggest thing we want to talk about is how he's going to be able to impact our offense this season. And so far, so good. I know it's only one practice, but he said that he carried the football well, and he looked very springy and fluid during his practice. Filled it in the shovel pass, and they said that he was utilized all over the field in this offense, catching passes, running the ball, things like that. So I can't wait to really see what Kellen Moore has in store for Saquon Barkley, because the rumor was that he banged the table for Saquon. So I'm really thinking that he's going to be heavily utilizing this offense from the passing game as well as the running game. I would like to see a balanced offense, but from week to week you just never know what you're going to see. But I do want to see some more running. Not that we didn't get enough running last year, as we did have a 1,000-yard running back in DeAndre Swift. So thinking, Saquon could probably outdo those those 1,000+ yards, whatever he had. Excuse me, and be a great impact to this offense. Staying with the offense, wide receiver 3 was Paris Campbell, was clearly from what Andrew DeCecco said, as I've been talking about on my videos or in my videos, how Jalen Hurts has been working with the different wide receivers this offseason, and Paris Campbell, Anai Smith, Johnny Wilson. I seen some videos with him in Dallas. So it's been these guys been putting in some work this offseason, man. As you know, it's a new offense that they have to implement, and you only got a very small, minute, small time or small window to get as many reps as you can in, so you don't have that slow start to the season. They said that, I know I might be jumping all over the place, but they said that Jalen Hurts looked really good today. Passing wise, looked real fast, and just looked like the 2022 MVP that we are used to seeing. A lot of motion in the offense, or Kellen Moore's offense, which is great to hear, because like I said, this is giving Jalen more information at that line. He also, and I know I'm probably, like I said, bouncing around, but Jalen Hurts had gave his interview or his press conference and said that remember that 95% was different to him. He said, because as the quarterback, you have a bigger role than somebody as a running back or wide receiver, whatever the case may be. He has to know pretty much everything that's going on in the field and then also have an answer for it. That's why he gave the 95% change or whatever the case may be. So that's what he said, man. But it seems to be that this offense is working for him. He also had a play where he broke free. I guess he was a fake pass off to Saquon that got the defense and left the middle wide open and allowed Jalen Hurts to take off. So those are like really good things to hear, man. But like I said, we didn't get to see this last season. Hopefully, with bringing Kellen Moore in here, we do get to see a completely different offense, and this is what it seems to be. So moving on with the offense, the tight ends that stuck out today were Goddard and Calcaterra. Goddard had a touchdown on Keeley, and then CJ was late getting there for the coverage. They also said that Grant looked sharp throughout practice, reeling in a catch with tight coverage from Quinyon Mitchell. But the back end tight end spot is also a spot I would say that we need to look or pay attention to. I'm very high on Albert O. I really do think he's a very athletic tight end. A similar tight end to what I don't want to say Dalton Schultz, but I feel like he's similar to the fact that of how they play. I would say, but I guess you have to give it to Schultz, but I think Albert O could be that second tight end, very athletic, quick, that can be able to open up this offense as well. Didn't get to see anything from him, but that is another person I'm watching for that backup tight end spot as well. Moving on to the linebacker spot, they had White and Bond on first team. Now, as you know, the press conference that Vic Fangio gave, the first player that came out of his mouth was Zach Bond. So I figured that he would probably be the first, will be on the first team. Excuse me, and they said that they rotated Dean in and Bond out. So my thing is Dean is also seeing time, at that first team linebacker position. But at the same time, him coming back from his foot injury, coming out that boot, I think they do want to walk him in a little bit slower, so just heals up and things like that. But they said they both were around the ball, so that's pretty good. And he also said that Dean looked healthy, so that's great things to be hearing about Dean, as this is his third year, and it's probably going to be the year that he really is going to have to prove himself to be able to stay on this team, man. Because if all else fails, and then you still got to worry about Jeremiah Trotter and then whoever else they had back there for linebackers. So some competition there that we also got to pay attention to, see how it plays out during training camp. You also talked about Q and Keeley both took reps on the outside alongside of Slay, which is great to see. They also said that Isaiah Rodgers, I think if I'm not mistaken, started on first team reps alongside Slay. They had Maddox at I want to say it was the slot. Let me look this up for y'all right quick. My fault, y'all. Yeah, Avonte Maddox at the slot, so that's also good to see, man. But Tyler Hall as well got a lot of reps today too with Cooper DeJean's situation and things like that. So some players are starting to get some roles not roles, but starting to get some more reps at their positions because of the different injuries that are plaguing the team at this moment in time. I'm very high on Tyler Hall. I do think he needs to stay on this team for the depth purposes, but he also can start as well. And we'll see how that goes. Like I said, this is training camp. This is the time to see where people go, where people fit, what they can do, what they can't do. So far so good, man. But like I said, they talked about Jalen Hurts being very accurate. They talked about him looking pretty good. The offense is looking pretty good. But then they also had, after the practice, they had the press conference with Jalen Hurts. Like I said before, Jalen Hurts, that was the question that they asked him. But before he can even get the question out, he just said, let me say this, and then he said what he said. So I also might put the clip up here if I do have the clip. But if I can get a chance to put it up here, I'll put it up here for y'all. But he said he just want to put all that to bed. He said he trusts that Nick and the rest of the coaches are going to have his team in the proper order, ready to go for this season and things like that. Jalen Hurts also spoke to the fact about Kellen Moore, liking Kellen Moore and getting to bond with him over this offense and learning things from him, as well as Doug Nussmeier. I know I always say his last name wrong. I do apologize, but I think this is going to be a very good season, man. It seems to be that everything is on track so far. They also reported that it seems that they're a little bit not ahead of schedule, but they're not seeing the lows and woes with implementing a new offense because of Jalen Hurts and the team's work ethic. So hopefully that can carry on throughout training camp and into the season. They said the connection was there with most of wide receivers and things like that. So it's just some good things that we've been hearing today. I know it's only one day. You can't get too excited about it. But me, personally, I'm excited for this roster. I'm excited for this team because it's like year after year. I don't know how we keep getting these crazy players. You get Saquon Barkley this offseason. You draft Quinyon Mitchell, Coop DeVille if he gets back in time. But just a great team that we've been having these last few years. And like I said, I do think that coaching kind of plagued the team a little bit. But it seems to be that they figured that situation out with Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, then assistant coaches as well. But like I said, man, that's pretty much all I have for y'all today. If anything else comes out, I'll talk about it. But it's just like I said, it's very good to see, man. Very good to hear, especially with that offense. As y'all know, like I said, if when you implement a new offense, it does take some time. So like I said, so far so good that they're doing well with that. But like you really won't probably see until preseason and how they can implement that against another defense that's not theirs. So with that being said, man, it's Nam from the No Cut Sports Podcast. If you have any questions or comments for me, please drop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. sometimes I even get some ideas from like what y'all say for another video. So with that being said, it's not for the No Cut Sports Podcast. I appreciate y'all watching, but if you could, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe. And one more thing, y'all. Go Birds, baby. I'ma holla at y'all.